Good morning everybody, it's the 27th of April 2017 and it's 8 degrees outside. And this is a view outside of my hotel window. Seems to be some kind of alleyway. Anyway, have I got a date planned for you? Today we are going to Chernobyl. Now at 7:15 I have to be outside the hotel because a ride's picking me up and he's going to take me to a meeting place where there are going to be other people and we're going to catch this bus and go out to see Chernobyl and into the exclusion zone. It's taken a lot to organise this trip, so I hope nothing goes wrong. And I hope you really enjoy this video. It should be one of the best videos I've ever done. That sign over there says parking. Although you could probably work that one out. I'm sitting on the bus right now. They've given us a map of all the places we're going to see. And they've also given us a Geiger counter.
Also, yeah, sorry for that, but I have to repeat it every tour. Please don't forget to use the restrooms on the gas station, because restrooms in exclusion zone, sometimes it's, you know, one more disaster, really. Like such ancient wooden constructions with the hole. Why it's like this? Because exclusion zone is not officially tourist area. Yeah, exclusion zone is still special state object, very strictly secured, with a lot of policemen and army people there.
We're at a gas station, a little bit outside of Kyiv. Basically a 25-minute rest stop, then on the road again. There are some Ukrainian words that are pronounced the same as English words, like this one. Latte. That's a muffin. And the word stop is also the same.
Where people still live constantly. And if you want to buy somewhere in Ukraine house for $1,500, you can do it here. Yeah, because as I told, no one wants to live so close to the exclusion zone.
We're actually at a checkpoint right now. The checkpoint building is actually on my right. But we're not allowed to film, we've been told. And there are soldiers and police and everything, so better obey the rules. Anyway, we're just getting some paperwork finalised and then we'll be through the checkpoint. I think it's calibrating at the moment. But that radiation level is very safe. This is Zelissa village, long since abandoned.
So usually this kind of village, it was a small village, it has collective farms where a lot of villagers were working, and it has one school. This village, as my colleague told, it was one of the biggest, so they had even here maternity, kind of hospital, but it's not a hospital. Yeah, live all the year, just having food and everything from the yards. And we can walk further. Now you see it's abandoned actually. We still have this road, but village is abandoned.
Why will it just look so looted? And in 90s, as I told, looters appeared here. Yeah, also Soviets, they collected all these valuable things because they wanted to avoid looting here in the zone. You know, it's a big problem when people start to steal and sell something contaminated. All the wildlife was killed here in the surrounding zone. Was much more strictly secured than today. It was like border, you know, with this fences. Yeah, area in 90s. Similar to that today, and wildlife. Also, we had a lot of experiments.
roof is even caving in. Back on the bus, we're heading to our next destination.
So it was a very good example of typical village for Ukrainian police. As I already told, the region was very traditional, and what is more important, in police is very, like here we can find very old traditions of all Slavs, of all Slavic people in different parts of the Europe. Because according to the one version, all Slavic people, they came from here, from Police region. And it is this Chernobyl disaster is also a very big tragedy for Police region, because all this unique culture with very interesting dialect of Ukrainian language, with very unusual traditions, where we could find some footprints from the other Slavic people, just disappeared in one moment, because people from here were resettled to the different parts of not only Ukraine but Soviet Union as well.
Here's a welcome sign to Chernobyl anyway. Everyone wants their picture taken. I don't blame them, I just had my picture taken too. Ooh. Notice the communism symbol there?
About 3,000 people work in the Chernobyl town, but they work only on shifts. So they stay here 15 days, and then shifts, and then they have the next shift. Now we are getting close to the main square of the Chernobyl town. There we have memorial complex dedicated to the 25th anniversary of Chernobyl disaster, but we will make stops here in this place in our way back, in the evening.
That's Lenin. Surprised I haven't torn it down.
Also take a look to the white building on our left hand side. It was Jewish cultural center, because Chernobyl, it's typical Jewish town. It was founded by Jews in 1193, so more than 825 years ago. And here lives Jews. About 80% of population of the town were Jews. They lived here till the Second World War, so that building was Jewish cultural center. But during the Soviet Union it was usual house of culture, so-called, and that building also is known as court. 2 years after Chernobyl disaster, that building was local court. And also in that building we had court process, and 6 people from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, main engineers, director of power plant, were sentenced to the jail as responsible for Chernobyl disaster. In this street we have 2 interesting places. As you remember, this town was typical Jewish settlement, the biggest Jewish settlement in the Police region, and this town is very important for Jews even today, especially for Hasids. It's such a sect in Jewish religion. So 2 Jewish prophets were born in the Chernobyl, and here in Chernobyl town are 2 graves of the prophets. So every end of September and beginning of October, when Jews have holiday called Rosh Hashan, or Jewish New Year, they visit Chernobyl town. They visit building on our right. This is former main synagogue of the Chernobyl town. And that building during the Soviet period was military office, because in Soviet Union, maybe you already know, religion was something forbidden. It was officially atheist country. So this building was in use as military office. That's why near the doors we can see that red 5-ray stars, typical star of Soviet army. And Jews, when they visit this place, they make jokes that this is the only communist synagogue in the world. Not with the Star of King David, but of this one. And that bus stop is designed as for children, you see. Bear, actually it's Olympic bear, it's symbol of Olympic Games in Moscow in 1980s. Some trees, mushrooms, yeah, very funny. Okay, maybe a bit scary, but childhood in Soviet Union also was not the best thing. So we can see such bus stop designed as for children, near the military object. Yeah, a bit strange. Because this bus stop is fake one, yeah. It was never used, and this bus stop is part of official legend about this place. Where are we going now?
Here's our next stop, Radar Dugar 1.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, we are going to wash our hands before lunch, so. But since
And everyone touched them.
everyone. So, comrades, let's go closer to the radar. We have area, like open area. It's there already possible. Yes, I suppose where our railway countries will start big. But don't be afraid when it's a bit higher than 0.3, it is normal. Somewhere in the Soviet Union, yeah, named some Znijevo, 17, yeah, and such places you can find in the maps of Soviet Union. Later they refused from that idea and they start to build. The Soviet military system was built in such way that every 5-6 years military officers as usual they had to switch that place where they lived. Yeah, so not so many officers lived here constantly. And yeah, some officers from the other military base they had to come here, the other they had to be relocated to the other part of the Soviet Union. So,
Hey!
yeah, Lena can switch off the sound by increasing the threshold level if you are in the radar to go on from this military base. They told that how this radar worked. Soviet soldier had to climb on the top of this radar and to watch some missiles. Yeah, so very interesting. Also, of course, people in the USA they had pictures of these objects. I mean, some agents, because it doesn't make any sense to have such protective system when your enemy don't know about it. Even some civilians had pictures of this object, and versions about what is that was very interesting. My favorite version is that this is Soviet mind control device, and in one day they will switch on it and people in West Europe will become, you know, perfect communists. So yeah, such idea.
Я могу присесть. Ноги ватные, наверное, да? А сколько подниматься?
Довго, я півгодини не пам'ятаю. Ну, є рекорд, належить чоловіку з Голландії. 7 хвилин.
Oh boy.
Він протестує на кіловат. Going to build here up to 10 units. We can find such information from different sources, but anyway, they started to build units number 5 and 6. And for cooling down water from the new reactors, local administration had to make something, or to make cooling pond bigger, but anyway, it was already about 12 kilometers long. Some new construction. It's also not finished. It will be finished in the end of this year, and there we can see warehouse for spent nuclear fuel from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and also for the most radioactive waste from those magma from the inside of the sarcophagus of Chernobyl nuclear power plant. There we can see long grey constructions behind the main building of warehouse, of that warehouse for spent nuclear fuel, and some radioactive waste will be put there at least for 300 years. Like in Ukraine, Kazantip, yeah, they had even slogan something like
Now mine's going off.
radioactive party nuclear reactor. And now please take a look to our left. There we can see a lot of power lines. This is so-called iron forest.
I just got scanned for radiation, but I'm clean, so is everybody else on the tour. Apparently we had to be scanned 2 more times before the end of the tour. But anyway, this is my lunch. I'm in a canteen. The food's not very glamorous. I've got chicken, I think it is, and rice. Chicken soup probably, and a bread roll and a miscellaneous drink. That's the radiation scanner that I had to go through. Now we're getting back on the bus. They don't seem very interested.
No. Oh, look at this giant.
Whoa.
We have a giant here. I guess you as well have, but we have really big one.
Why he's not here now? Yeah.
You can answer all the questions.
Yeah. I mean, I will ask him questions.
Yes.
Because for you to understand, 95%.
We changed our roads because something can go wrong, you know, and they wanted to avoid contamination of tourists or something like this. But as I understood, some companies, they bought, you know, rights for filming of that process, and yeah, it was kind of copyright protection. Yeah, that's why people were not able to visit. So, comrades, we're interested in some radioactivity. Breathe deeper because now wind is blowing from the side of Red Forest. Here we have 0.6 microcurrents per hour, but we are staying on the asphalt. This rate was decontaminated, so this level of radioactivity is not really high. Let's go closer to the side. Here we don't have something like hotspots. I will show you some hotspots in Pripyat town. All the area is here 0, like 1.7, 0.8 on my Geiger counter, and now we go closer. It's already 2.
Wow. I'm up to 4.5.
Can be.
4.5.
Yep.
4, 5,
3, 4,
7, 8. Oh my god.
and somewhere here already can measure something really, really high.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up to nearly 5. 5.48. 7.0.
In my it's about 9. Yeah, just hold it somewhere here because moss is usually radioactive, and also I can show you difference between gamma and beta. Yeah, I can open the detector for beta particles, and you can try to measure it again. Maybe it will be higher. Yeah, sure. With gamma particles it's higher. You see about
11, 12. Okay.
'77 in this building was official celebration of opening of reactor number 1, and I have a picture of this place made in '70s. As you see, difference is really big. Yeah, now Pripyat looks like forest, but before it was almost without trees. I will show you now a few more pictures. So yeah, remember, this is the cafe. We can see the other sign on the top because it was made on '70s, so it was changed, but believe me that this is the same place. And here we can see this logo of Riverport. You will see it in a while when we will get closer to the cafe Pripyat and on this picture. And now we can go closer to the pier and cafe Pripyat.
Those used to be soda machines.
Before building of district number 8, but it never happened. Today, Pripyat from this space looks like big triangle.
Radioactive dog.
Що, повтори? One is so-called White House, yeah? So in Pripyat Soviets they wanted to implement this idea of total equality. So people lived only in apartments. There were no private houses in old town. But this one was quite unusual. There lived city mayor,
director of power plant, main engineer. So it was, you know, like for more equal people, yeah, so-called White House.
More equal?
More equal, yeah. And to the left, it's actually from Orwell, yeah, this
yeah.
press. And to the left, we can see that 5-floor house, and it was so-called, yeah, that house had nickname Collective White, because there lived people from the village Semihode, yeah. All Soviet republics also part of that ideology of international friendship. In the summer, you see, the grass is high.
But take a basket and actually take all the products you need, like we do right now. But at that time, it was only in Kyiv and only in Pripyat. So yeah, it was very innovative supermarket. And we can still, when we will go closer, we can still see the signs of the departments. Yeah, at 9 a.m. on the speakers, everyone were told like bring all the necessary things with you. It's beers, it's meat, it's everything like it. Different the cake. So you would take the tray or that thing and you would put all the products
Well,
in you. And
this
then
was a
when
supermarket.
you would go out with it outside, you will just pay for the like in the modern one. But for those times, it was super.
I think the most famous place in Pripyat because this Ferris wheel, iconic thing. So official opening ceremony of this amusement park was planned on the 1st of May in year 1986. So it never happened, no tickets were sold, and all those attractions, even the shooting gallery, are like brand new and never used, only in testing modes. You can find in the internet pictures with children playing on these attractions, but it was only testing modes and kind of advertisement. This place, as well as the main square, were in use during the liquidation process as airfields for helicopters. So they were flying over the radioactive, like over the reactor, and then they landed here. So of course, yeah, here we have a lot of hotspots, and I can show you a few of them. That's why please, you know, do not leak anything here and do not eat the soil. And also here we can find a few hotspots. So we are going to spend here about 10 minutes. And after that, yeah, we go further. We wait you in the end of this amusement park.
These cars are highly radioactive, so look but don't touch them. And they never got to use it because the power plant meltdown happened a few days before this place was going to open, so it's like frozen in time. I want to see how radioactive these are.
Just if you find the real spot. Here it's 19. There.
I see. Yeah, it's sparking already. Alright.
Further, if you move it just somewhere.
Yeah.
Like because they didn't feel the danger, so sometimes they wouldn't put the mask on, you know, or they would. During the day, they wouldn't feel like how much.
Рассматриваю вариант.
Nice. The department's there, they
We're actually on a football field right now. That's the grandstand. Or was.
Yeah, and then actually if that accident wouldn't happen, for now they say that Pripyat will be really developed and very especially the iodium was the biggest danger for them. Like in my school, even in Kyiv, I remember they were feeding us iodium. I guess they would like to hide it, you know, unless other countries were doing no one knows, maybe they would even...
Things you can find in the internet, but for example about that football club of Pripyat, or about
Yeah, it would kill you as well.
Okay, so in here the school number 3 was biggest school in the Pripyat, but the only school was lessons in Ukrainian. Town was multicultural, so people used for communication mainly Russian, but the villages in this area was like typical Ukrainian. So students in this school, they learned 4 different languages till the year 1996, so 10 years after Chernobyl disaster it was possible to swim here. Yeah, in totally abandoned town we had swimming pool which was in use by the liquidators. Till 1998 it was possible to go to the sauna here. But after all the enterprises in Pripyat for liquidation as well, for some experiments were closed, swimming pool also was closed and looted, because here we had huge windows with the same aluminium frames, everything was stolen. But building is really impressive, it's just one of 5 swimming pools in Pripyat. Yeah, like here we have 2 of them, so one of 4.
Он рассказывает, показывает, короче, свет, молча. И вопросы, ничего, блядь.
Один штучки понравился.
Here are some of the machines that were sent in to help decontaminate.
So these rabbits are the real one, decontaminated, that's why they are without some parts, you see, like without wheels or some manipulators, clothes which were used during the decontamination. So the most contaminated parts are missing here. At first it was built here half legal. If you want to construct something in exclusion zone, you have to collect, we can say, kilograms of documents, you know, it's very difficult to build something in this forbidden area. But firefighters from this fire department, who were one of the first squad that came to the reactor number 4, wanted to dedicate something to their colleagues, to those people who were on the power plant and to all the liquidators, in 10th anniversary of disaster in 1996.
We've just been checked for radiation again. I think we're all okay. And starts the day tomorrow. I have to get up early and catch a train. So today's video here. From just outside the exclusion zone in Ukraine. See you tomorrow. God bless.